Things are a little interesting tonight. The Big D doing not one but two streams. Stream number one, you're truly here, is drafting and with Ravori Sports and hopes of getting Lamar Jackson stack. So Charles, as we appear on the Diamond and Top Production, the Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page, what do you think about our chance of getting Lamar Jackson tonight?
Anytime you get Lamar Jackson, it's a good thing. Anytime you get Lamar Jackson on your team, it's a good thing. You're going to get rush yards. You're going to get pass yards. You're going to get a lot of production. So I know that much. Definitely if you get Lamar on your team.
Yeah, and plus you get as Chris Sims says, the number one quarterback in the NFL right now.
Chris Sims rips them in Florio. Lamar doesn't even like them, I don't think. They're always kind of, but then they backtrack. Oh, well, we love you, Lamar.
Well, maybe in that case, Lamar might end up winning a couple of Super Bowls. I mean, maybe the end of the season will start with Ravens Bills, and then we don't have to see the Mahomes guy or the one guy who's dating she who shall not be named.
She was at the Maryland practice the other day because he's a Maryland Terp as well. She was actually there hugging with the coach. Yeah, I know, man. That's the way it works, brother.
Well, I mean, I've done, I think, 16 or 17 million maker drafts. I love best ball drafts. I don't know if you and the guys have seen one of these drafts. I mean, where we try and win $2 million. It's way different than your fantasy league. Here, we want to stack, and we want to have guys with upside, but also mixing guys with spike week potential, get some values, and maybe find the hidden gem in the draft. By the way, no kickers or defenses, thank you. And also no trades, so nobody has got to worry about making moves. You've got what you've got. And if your guy gets hurt, tough luck.
So this is like the Millie Goats here. What they do. Podcast of Millie Goats. They going for the Millie. So are you. All right, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I actually did a draft today. Got the 1-on-1. Build me a Bengal stack with Jamal Chase. I'm like, if anybody's doing a fantasy, I would think Jamal Chase is probably the 1-on-1 in fantasy this year. I mean, Saquon, I think the only one I would consider maybe not taking Chase is probably Bijan. I'm not one to take Saquon this year not because of the Madden curse, but I worry guys coming off 2,000-yard seasons. Oh my Lord, I got another 1-on-1. You're kidding. 2 1-on-1s today. Oh, man. Oh, that's going to be interesting.
When you pick first, right? So you got to wait all the way up until the end of the next round, right?
Yep, it's a snake draft.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, but the Ravens sure have a hard time stopping Jamal Chase, right?
The whole league has a problem stopping Jamar Chase.
Yes,
they do. I do say this: they do better with Jamar Chase than they did with AJ Green and Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson and AJ Green, when they were the number one receivers bang, they used to just light us up all the time. For whatever reason, they do somewhat better with Chase, but Chase has had some good games because.
I mean, Chase went 10 for 193 and 2 scores in week 5, and then week 10, 11, 264 and 3 scores. So by my math, that would be 457 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns, 21 reception, 21 450 plus, and 5 touchdowns. Not bad.
To say the least, brother. He's awesome.
If you use Jamal Chase in fantasy those weeks, congratulations. If you face Jamal Chase in fantasy, you probably lost.
Best receiver in the NFL, Dylan? Jamar Chase, you think?
Not even close. It beat Chase.
Not close. Not.
Not,
I think him and Jefferson, I think, are pretty close.
I mean, I just think Chase is so much higher than anybody else in the NFL. So surprise to no one. I took Jamal Chase at 1. Saquon, Jefferson. Don't know any of these guys.
I take Chase over Jefferson in fantasy simply because you're worried about the quarterback in Minnesota. That's if it is a good separation, that's what it is. Where Jamar Chase, he's got his best friend in life, Joe Burrow, throwing him the football, and he's got a guy who threw 8 passes a year at Michigan, JJ McCarty, throwing him.
I've got a question. What's with the Bengals not signing up? Well, Bijan at the 106. Oof. I've got Bijan at the 106 in a draft, but not that many times. My goodness.
Way too high for Bijan. You're seeing it again. Same thing. His offense overall, I don't know how good it is outside of him. Do they have a quarterback?
Well, Penix, but
yeah, I mean, but
what's with the Bengals not wanting to re-sign Trey Henderson or give Jamal Stewart the kind of contract he wants? I mean, we know the Bengals are cheap.
Stewart, I have no clue what that is. That makes absolutely no sense. So I got nothing for you there. Hendrickson is expensive. I mean, they just did. I mean, as much as we call them cheap, they spent a lot of money already. I mean, they did go get Higgins and Chase a new contract. So they probably figure, hey, we got to cut somewhere. So I think they kind of figured that maybe you got to keep Henderson. Stewart is playing crazy because you drafted Stewart because you might not have Henderson and you're haggling about money there. I don't know what his asking price is, but I can't imagine a rookie in the current landscape is asking for too much.
I've got to think Jamal Stewart's contract is probably due more in language of contract, something what the Bengals all aren't given that he wants.
I don't. They wouldn't pay him the highest paid. I mean, they wouldn't pay him higher than the guy. It's kind of slotted. So unless he's asking for something super unusual, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of don't know what the holdup is.
I mean,
I think it's a risky pick anyway. I mean, I think like he's like one of these gymnasts. I think you kind of line up like one of your Jaguars there, Matt Jones. You know, that kind of had that feel there. He, great athlete, great physique, all that other stuff, but he really isn't productive yet in college. So we'll see.
Yeah. Let me tell you, Matt Jones gave me a headache.
Playing him at tight end is what they could have did too. Like I don't know why they played him at the hardest position possible, which is why.
Yeah, I mean, you know the title of this stream. If I don't get Lamar Jackson right now, somebody's gonna beat me up. This is actually different than what I would do with any draft. Because some poop took T. Higgins. I'm like, I'm gonna take Lamar and just call it a day. I've got that week 17 comp with Chase and Harrison, so
you're taking wide receivers early. I've seen there. You're. That's the same strategy people used to have with running backs. You got to take running backs and more running backs.
Yeah, there are three different kinds of strategy. Well, three or four different kinds of strategy. Either zero running back, hero running back, or anchor robust running back. And I mean, used to everybody would go running back, and just hammer the rest of the position. But here we want to go somewhere else. Boy, Rasheed Rice is in the second round of drafts. Holy moly!
I see him higher, way higher than he should be in a lot of places. I think you're right. He's the most overdrafted guy I see in fantasy. Rasheed Rice. I mean, he's really, really high in a couple places that I've seen.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, I don't think I've taken one Rasheed Rice this year, and I don't know. Like they're all guys I don't want. Hmm.
Devontae Adams is pretty good too. That's an interesting one. I don't know where that's going to shake out. Looking at him there, Devontae. That could be great, or that could just be ho hum there in LA.
I mean, I feel okay getting both Puka and Devontae, especially because Stafford's not going to run around like the wall.
He's going to throw the ball down the field. That's the one. He's the one guy from the old school, I think, in terms of that. I don't mean just him being old, but he throws. He doesn't check down. He's not check down, Charlie. He's gonna get you down the field stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Stafford and Jared Goff are the only two pocket passers left. Can you confirm to me who the Ravens play week 15, 16, 17? I think the Ravens play Cincinnati week 15. Is it New England week 16 and then Green Bay week 17? Charles?
I'm here.
Charles?
I'm here. I'm just looking up the schedule here.
Okay, so can you confirm?
So it's the last week is the Steelers. So before that, Packers, Patriots, Bengals.
Okay, just what I expected. Wow, didn't think my God. And by the way, every time I would take this, might be the only time this year if I take Jamal Chase, I don't take Joe Burrow. But watch the T. Higgins team take him, and I'm like, well, I've already got my quarterback. Boy, Mike Evans.
Well, we know what you think is the best offense in the AFC there, or the best passing attack at least. Cincinnati.
Boy, Joe Mixon. Wait a minute. The Texans signed some guy named Nick Chubb.
That's not going to matter. He's going to be a
you're right.
Secondary piece,
if anything.
Funny is the role he'll probably have is the role his backup had all those years, like Kareem Hunt. I could see that. That's like best case scenario, I think.
Might end up like
short yardage and stuff like that.
Might end up like old dusty Kareem Hunt, right? It'll be like old dusty Kareem Hunt. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take a Marion Hampton, and then I will take Zay Flower. So I got the most number one receiver, and then trying to get Mark Andrews. Like last year, it was all but impossible for me to stack Lamar, Flowers, and Andrews. This year it's easier because Andrews is going so much later. The one thing you can't do is stack Henry, Lamar. Well, I mean, maybe if you win Henry at the 107, Lamar might be there.
Hampton, I think, is interesting for the Chargers. I think that guy is certainly it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out if you get a running back and you're playing for Greg Roman, you're not going to get overlooked, right? You're going to get your chances, even if with Najee Harris there, he's going to get his chance to run the football.
And by the way, I don't hate Najee Harris. I think the value. I think both guys have certain value.
Harris, I think, is a decent starting NFL back. And that sounds bad to some people when you say that. But I think that's about he's not a stud. You certainly wouldn't put him in the Saquon category. He doesn't block as much as I would like for a guy his size. But you don't need that, in fantasy. Who cares? Like, he's going to get you the 1,000-yard season, most likely. Certainly in San Diego, where he's going to get every chance in the world.
Yeah. And in many ways, well, that's a little early for Jawan Jennings. Yeah, but probably going to be a Brock Purdy stack. I already know who the Niners play week 17. Yeah, there's the naked Joe Burrow. He's thinking, I'm so smart. I'm getting Joe Burrow. Yeah, without T. Higgins over.
If Brock Purdy played for the Eagles last year, would they have won the Super Bowl instead of Jalen Hurts? I saw that.
No.
What do you think?
No.
I gotta say no too. I think Hurts is. I think you got to give Hurts a level of bona fide now. Like, give him some credit. Him and Sirianni keep getting disrespected. Look, they've got one now. They've been very productive. I think Purdy is just a notch down in that next tier. I don't even have him in the top 10 this year.
I didn't have Purdy in my top 10 last year or this year. I mean, speaking of quarterbacks, where is Jalen Hurts in your quarterback rankings?
I'm going to reveal that tomorrow on the channel. So he's in the top 10.
I like it.
There you go. Top 10 quarterback rankings. Good plug there for the rest of not tomorrow, Thursday, because I'll be out tomorrow. But Thursday, I'm going to head and reveal that. But Hurts, I think, is at the top of the food chain, brother. I think he's right there, the best quarterback. Him and Daniels are the best two in the NFC. No question.
Where would Stafford be on that list? I mean, Stafford went toe-to-toe pretty well in the division round.
Stafford's the next one down. I think Stafford's got to get old sometime. That's the biggest reason why I have him a little bit lower. He's going to be 37, or he's already 37 years old. So as good as he's been, he's getting to those years where it's getting harder and harder.
True. I don't think it's.
There's an argument that he could be one. I hear you. I think, like, if somebody said Stafford is the best quarterback in the NFC, I mean, I got no real beef with that.
Why am I drafting all AFC North players? NFC North players for that matter.
Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
That's a little high.
I mean, I know what Jeudy did last year, no matter who was his quarterback. I mean, he caught 90 passes. I mean, if you look at week 17, week 15, I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen to the Browns this year. If I'm a betting man, I'll tell you what I think happens. I think a certain quarterback from Pittsburgh starts week 1. Well, actually not Pittsburgh. Delaware starts week 1. But I think Shedeur Sanders plays. Cleveland's got a brutal stretch to start the year.
Everything I'm seeing the same thing. They're kind of talking like it's Joe Flacco for sure getting the ball under center week 1. I don't know if that's a great idea, frankly. I think like with those 2 rookies, I would do everything I could to see if they had something. And I love Joe Flacco. I think Joe Flacco, with his little second career here post Ravens, almost is if he hasn't played his way into the Hall of Fame, he's pretty close. But I think I don't know why you have 2 rookies just to sit them. I mean, what you doing that for?
I mean, I didn't get Cleveland taking not Kenny, Dylan Gabriel, because Dylan Gabriel is a bad fit in Cleveland.
With that weather, the way he plays, you need like Flacco, like just use her for example. We just talked about Flacco has that big arm. Doesn't matter how cold it is, what the weather is. Flacco's going to get that ball way downfield and all that stuff, etc. Gabriel is dink and dunk city. Like that doesn't necessarily work in Cleveland. Like when they had Jeff Garcia and Tim Couch and guys like that. That's not what they need. Bernie Kosar was successful. Guys like that.
You're going old school.
Well, you got to go back a ways to have a really good quarterback. I mean, Baker even struggled. I mean, look how much better Baker's been in Tampa. I mean, this Baker you could put in the top 10 for sure. Absolutely, the way he's played in Tampa.
I don't think
you could argue that one, but that's their offense is right there. I mean, it's been really good.
I don't know who to take next. I'm hoping Jayden Reed gets there. I'm not a fan of Matthew Golden because I don't know. That's just me. Everybody loves Matthew Golden. They think, oh, Matthew Golden's going to become the second coming of Greg Jennings or Jordy Nelson or Donald Driver. I'm like, relax. But he thinks of rookie receivers like a new sports car.
Rookie receivers generally aren't uber productive, always. Well, say for a Jamar Chase that jumps right out, or Justin Jefferson. But like historically, Randy Moss was another one. But historically, you're waiting a bit. Usually like year 2, year 3 before they really get themselves off the ground.
I'm gonna get Mark Andrews here, but I don't know which one of these receivers.
Consider likely. A lot of fans like likely too. So I would take Andrews still, but I mean, I'm just a lot of Raven fans. They weren't likely.
Yeah.
Those could be 2 back-to-back. I've done that before. I used to do that with Denver running backs all the time. kind of like with Chargers, kind of like with the Chargers. If you take any, I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea to take Najee Harris and Hampton. In all cases, you can get it.
I mean, and then I think I'm gonna take Brandon Ayuk. I know he's coming back from the 20 ACL, but I mean, if Ayuk is more the 2023 Ayuk, I mean, it's not the pick I want to make, but
here's what they like about the pick Ayuk there. There's not a lot else there now. This is no longer all that stuff that they had and all these receivers. Like they're going to start Purcell. They may have to use Ayuk now, like in terms of production and all that. So that's the reason I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I can show everybody who I've gone: Chase, Marvin, Lamar, Hampton, Flowers, Judy, Aaron Jones, Mark Andrews, Brandon Ayuk. A very AFC North kind of draft tonight. And true to my word, I got Flowers with Lamar with Flowers and Mark Andrews. I'm like,
It's Kyle Pitts time.
Oh gosh,
No.
Lord no, Lord no, I am not picking Kyle Pitts. Yeah, there goes Evan Ingram. It's weird. Like I've done a bunch of these drafts, and everybody wants Bo Nix. There goes Brock Purdy. That's funny. I knew the CMC Jawan Jennings team was going to take Brock Purdy. They got the guy who shall not be named.
Fantasy football.
Oh,
Yeah.
it looks like a chemistry chart.
Yeah. My wife was just saying it looks like we're doing a chemistry chart.
That's the first time in 4 years of basketball drafts I've ever heard somebody say it's a one of my drafts a chemistry. Oh my goodness.
You're on the wrong channel for the chemistry chart. Dylan is the smart guy of the group here. He's got his 5 degrees and everything like that. He's probably me. I'm still working on that.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be back in school to start my master's in accounting.
There you go.
You know,
Get a
weekend.
CPA. I was actually looking for a CPA today locally. It's hard to find a good CPA. I don't know. You're all too far. It's hard. Like after April, good luck finding one. Like it's hard to find.
I'll tell you what, if you're playing fantasy football this year and don't get one of the top guys, Drake May's not the worst quarterback you can get. I think New England's going to be better
I
this
agree,
year.
Drake.
Can't be any worse.
I agree. Stephon Diggs time right here, brother.
I think I'm thinking more Kyle
Did they get
Williams.
Stephon? Oh, somebody already got Stephon.
Yeah, I don't think he got. I don't. Oh, he got Travian Henderson. Vikings 2030. Trey Harris, the rookie out of Ole Miss. Boy, that's way early for Jack Beck. I got him at like the 12-12 or 13-1 today. That's way early for Jack Beck. Not that I hate him, but that's
Beck has a lot of tools. Worth taking a chance on late here.
That's like 3 or 4 rounds. That's 3.5 rounds only gone, and I thought Kyler might sneak back to me.
When you see that, then somebody had their eye on him the whole time. That's never an accident. When you see a guy like I'm gonna do this, if you get in that general area.
Yeah, and then have him come back to me. It's like I think I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna take. Let me see who's left. I'm gonna wait around, see who's next. I'm gonna take Ramondre and Cam Scatterbo. I'm taking all the old and young running backs.
Scatterbo. Man. There's nobody in the draft I'm pulling more that's not a Raven than Cam Scatterbo. Man. Can't wait to see him on the field.
Yeah. Me too. I think I'm gonna get one.
Stevenson. He's just got to stay healthy. That's the only reason why he's not elite. He's a guy. He's on the shelf too often.
I know. Yeah. I know everybody loves Travian, and trust me, I do too. But Ramondre going in the 11th round does not make sense. I mean, that guy's a really capable running back.
Also, too, New England offensive guys have always kind of dropped they're a little bit obscure. Same way like Jaguars guys. Like not everybody knows them quite yet. Travis Hunter, I'm sure, like, is not going to go anywhere. But like, there's a lot of guys, like a lot of people don't even know Brian Thomas, how good Brian Thomas is.
I do.
For as far as fans. Yeah, I know you know. I'm just saying.
By the way, Trevor just went in the 11th round. Jordan Love, Jane Blue, Tyler Warren, Travis Etienne, Rashad Bateman. Congrats on the new deal. Colston Loveland, Tupton, Likely, Kincaid.
I think that's the season for you guys. Trevor Lawrence looking like an outstanding quarterback again. They've done everything. They gave him Travis Hunter. They gave up all those picks to go ahead and get him right. They did it's changed the coach.
Can Trevor be more like he was the second half of 22? Because I don't think Trevor's been healthy the last 2 years.
I think Trevor's got tremendous athleticism. I think he's got tremendous athleticism. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it's something wrong with him. He doesn't have a lot of discipline. That's the biggest problem I see with Trevor. I will say it with Trevor all the time. He throw the rainbow perfect on the rope down the line, and then he'll go ahead and miss the flat. He'll miss ETN, or he'll go through like stuff like that. He doesn't really. I wonder how hard he's working in the off season or working in camp and things like that because he's so talented. But he's gotta be more fundamentally sound. Athletically, he's as good as physically as talented as anybody.
I think part of Trevor's problem is that for whatever reason, maybe it's a product of being a great quarterback in college. That Trevor missed whatever it was, too many open throws. And maybe at Clemson, he didn't have to worry about being perfect every single time because Clemson was going to beat everybody not named Georgia, Ohio State, or Alabama, or worry about anybody outside of maybe Georgia, Ohio State, or Alabama.
Louisville gave him trouble while Lamar was there. I remember that.
Yeah, but Trevor never faced Lamar in college.
I think they did.
No.
What's it?
No.
I remember it was Kelly Bryant. It was Deshaun. That's what I'm thinking. I'm sorry. Deshaun. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I'm sorry. Yeah,
one of the craziest games I can ever remember.
Yeah, one of the best games I ever saw, like him going against Deshaun Watson in college.
Oh God, I'm gonna get Bryce Young, and I'm gonna get. Let me see if I can find him. Tyler Algier. Sanders. Yeah.
Has Bryce Young turned the corner completely?
Well, I don't think he can be any worse. I don't think he can be any worse, right?
He got better last year. I mean, I thought I was ready to throw in the towel. They benched him, and he came back in, and he was. I think there's reason to be hopeful, certainly for a backup quarterback in a fantasy draft. There's like, this is not too bad, Lee. That's not too bad.
Yeah, and also, I think play Seattle week 17. I think Bryce Young's got ability. I really like Dave Canales there.
Algiers pretty good too. I think like I still don't know about if they have a whole offense or not, but Algier he looked good at times as well. Again, a guy like here, like it doesn't matter. Like he's a guy you could benefit from. Like if there's injury or something like that as well, he'll get some carries.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm trying to think of like the best OB2s in the league. If anything happened with Brees Hall, Braylon Allen, Tyler Gio, who else would be a good one?
Jalen Warren would be one to consider.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's still a jury out if he's going to start, but I think the Steelers ones would be good. Caleb Johnson there. Whoever doesn't get that job, I don't know if he's still on that. But
yeah, Chase Brown was a really good value last year. Once who was the guy before Chase Brown went down, and then all of a sudden Chase Brown turned into Jamal Chase.
Yeah, Chase Brown has showed himself to be the real deal, and like that. That's a great place to run the football, Cincinnati, because you know you're not going to get a lot of attention. They're gonna have to stay with those receivers, and man, you're gonna have wide open space.
Maybe I should have taken Cam Ward. I don't want to wait too long for a second quarterback because then you end up with a second quarterback room that looks like Dookie. Everybody wants a quarterback like J.J. McCarthy, Trevor, Stroud. I don't know why that. Well, yeah, I thought they needed to.
I wouldn't even take JJ in fantasy draft. I do not think. I will be completely shocked if that works. If he's better than Aaron, it is possible that he could be decent. Like, and when I mean decent, I mean 17 touchdowns to 12 picks or something like that. You know, he might fool some, but outstanding. No way in the world.
Are you just saying? Oh, you're just saying that because of potentially who could be his head coach / weapons. I mean, the Chargers. Excuse me, not the Chargers. Not the Chargers. The Vikings have great head coach and all kinds of weapons there.
And that's the reason to be for, because he's got everything around him. That if it is one thing to like, it's that he's got all the stuff he needs around him to be good. He can't say he's not going to be able to say, "Well, I didn't have the weapons, I didn't have it." No, that's not untrue. He's got everything he needs around him. I just don't think he's an elite quarterback. I just can't see it. I didn't see it at Michigan at all.
Or you take 9 to 7.
Look at who you had drafted ahead of him. You already drafted Jefferson early, Aaron Jones early, Hockenson, all those guys on it. Like, so he might be somewhat productive, but
yeah, I drafted Roschon Johnson. I've been wanting to draft more Roschon. I feel better now that J.K. Dobbins is not going to be in Chicago.
Denver.
But, I know J.K. Dobbins is going to be Denver. I can't figure out where these guys are.
Somebody take Anthony Richardson.
I don't believe so.
There's Richardson right down there.
Actually, somebody did take AL-15 in the 15th round, no less.
Don't do it in the 15th round. I don't think he's got it. What I just said about McCarthy, like, copy paste for Anthony Richardson.
I mean,
if he gets beat out by Daniel Jones, bro. I mean, come on.
Well, isn't he hurt? again.
Yeah, he got hurt again. He got hurt again in camp.
Oh boy.
We haven't even they haven't even started minicamp. like they haven't even started the minicamp. Minicamp is 3. He's already. I think they might have started minicamp just because some teams are doing. I don't think the Ravens are doing theirs, but I think like he hasn't even.
He's done.
Overdrafted.
Well, maybe damaged goods, but that's just me. I mean, you think DeAndre Hopkins has got anything left?
I think he's got it for the role they're going to ask him. I mean, I think if they were asking him to be this number 1 receiver like he was, be this stud like he was, no. I don't think it's that anymore. They're not going to ask him to do that. Play in the slot, play against the third receiver, play against that third cornerback, do what he wants to do. Great hands, kind of similar to what you saw Aguilar do last year. And I know this for a fact. Lamar loves him. Lamar wants to play with DeAndre Hopkins. So I think that's the biggest reason he's there. But no, he's not. As far as for fantasy purposes, yeah, he's a late pick. Like he's not a guy he's gonna do a whole lot. Not unless there's a bunch of injuries or something. Then you'll see. Then maybe he'll give him a little bit more.
I think
but
it's
1,500, 1,600 yards, no way in the world.
I think the problem with Hopkins is that there are so many mouths to feed, not just with the quarterback, but Henry, Flowers, Andrews, Likely, Bateman. I mean, yeah, I think Hopkins might be great in between the 20s, but might be great maybe on third down, but how much is he going to play?
Yeah, they're not. Again, like I said, they're not going to ask him to do much. They're not going to ask him to do much. They just extended Bateman all that money. Flowers is going to get an extension. They still have Likely there, and Andrews, like you said, they're not going to ask him to do much. I don't think he expects that either coming in. I mean, unless it's injuries, he's not. He's there to do the thing that he hasn't done yet, and that's won a world championship.
And we know we got to the Super Bowl last year, but really the Chiefs didn't have a prayer and a snowball chance and what of win.
Chiefs got exposed in the big game against Philly. All their problems you saw just in that one game. It was wild. That was the microcosm of everything. And you and I talked about it there on the post game when we did that together. Like, yeah, that was kind of a microcosm of the whole season.
Yeah. Wait, I don't want Gabriel Davis. I don't even know where he's going to be. I'm like, give me Gabriel Davis. I'm like, trust me, I know what Gabriel Davis can do. Not much. There.
Here in the last round, you just hope. Here in the late, you just.
I mean, if these guys make your lineup once in a 17-week season, once or twice, you're okay. Just hope knows. I mean, is Dontavian Wicks the number 1 in Green Bay? I don't think so. But I mean, nobody's going to play 100% in the snaps in Green Bay. I mean, I don't think Christian Watson's going to play this year.
They're not going to have him at all. Oh, they're not going to have him at all.
I have no idea. I mean, 10, 8, 7, 9, 14, 6, 10, 12, 6, 14, 14. 5. So there's DJ Giddens, Isaac Tesla. Sounds like he should be a good football player. Will Keenan Mitchell play for the Ravens this year? Because I remember when Keenan Mitchell blew out his leg against the Jaguars 2 years ago, and I'm like, that kid looked good.
Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something else I'm going to talk about too. Like how much he's going to play compared to Justice Hill. Justice Hill was really good last year, but Mitchell really didn't play. He was really kind of working himself back in, but Mitchell really blew the doors off. So I think it's going to be a good battle in camp. Who's going to be the number 2 back? Whether it's going to be Keaton Mitchell, it's going to be Justice Hill. Keaton Mitchell has just speed next level, like just acceleration next level, and it's perfect with Derrick Henry, because he's the opposite. Derrick Henry's just going to run you over. Keaton Mitchell, just is going to run you by, run right by you.
So I just took Dontavian Wicks and Elijah Arroyo, the rookie from Miami. So I've going 2-6-8-3 with probably another wide receiver left. I mean, I bet you, unless you did as many drafts as me, you probably won who the heck are some of these guys like?
I was my next. You took the words right out of my mouth. Like those 2 guys I don't even know, Wicks and Arroyo. I don't.
There's Jackson Dole. Boy, he drafted Anthony Richardson, Jackson Dole, Jordan Love, and Kyle. Oof. That's a lot of quarterback.
You better pray for Jordan Love. Oh, he drafted Murray too. It looks like that.
Tavian Sanders. Let's say I looked at. The Ravens have a tough start. Playing the Bills opening Sunday night, and then I think you have Cleveland week 2, and then you have Detroit. Go ahead.
Cincinnati, KC the first month as well.
Yeah, how about you have Buffalo week 1. Who do you have week 2? Is that the Cleveland game?
Cleveland, yeah.
And then you have Detroit on a Monday night, Kansas City, and then Cincinnati. Oof.
I want the Bills in the first game. I love that personally. Let's send a message right away. Let's get in there right away. Let's play KC right away, and let's do stuff right away. I was kind of feeling the same way last year with Kansas City. I was thrilled. Well, we got the chefs for the first game. So you want to send a message week 1. Now obviously you didn't win. That would help. But obviously, beating the Bills week 1 would say a lot early, psychologically at least, if nothing else.
It would be like getting a win and a half over one of your main rivals in the.
I think those are the 2 teams that are going to be in the AFC Championship, the Bills and the Ravens. I think Kansas City not as good this year. Kelsey's getting older. Their wide receivers, you were still some questions. Defense is great. We know that. There's a Taysom Hill pick. Now we're at the end of the draft. Whenever you get a Taysom Hill pick.
Yeah.
Get a Steve Tasker pick here. The next one. That's kind of the same type.
I was going to get a Jermaine Lewis pick just for you.
There you go, Jermaine. Now we're talking. Jermaine Lewis, Jacoby Jones, Bill Bates pick here.
Rest in peace, Jermaine Jones.
Yeah. Jacoby Jones.
Jacoby Jones, thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to conclude this draft with Jimmy Horn Jr. So let me see what I have. Chase, Harrison, Lamar, Hampton, Flowers, Judy, Aaron Jones, Mark Andrews, Brandon Ayuk, Cam, Ramondre, Bryce Young, Tyler Algier, Brennan Strange, Roshan, um, Jalen Noel,
Jalen
Elect
Noel.
Amenyol, Elijah Royal, Dontavian Wicks, and Jimmy Horn Jr. Whew. And now the guys are going to be wondering, Dylan, who you going to draft next?
His dad was an outstanding player. I know that. Jimmy Horn, his dad was an outstanding player there.
Especially when it comes to cell phones. All
That's
right.
a whole nother thing.
All right. So I'm glad we got a Lamar stack. Whew. All right.
Lamar. Next time we get Lamar and Travis Hunter on the same team.
I almost thought about getting Hunter at the full. Well, maybe then we'll get a Lamar Trevor Lawrence stack then.
There's nothing wrong with that, brother. Travis Hunter is going to be really, really, really good. He just got married, so he's got all the reason in the world to make sure to get those future alimony payments ready. Got to make all that money.
Well, hey, your quarterback might get a big deal too.
I think that's going to get done in this offseason. I don't think the drama was massive, and I don't think there's any question now like that you're going to get the deal done with Lamar. So I don't think there's any question about it.
All right, Charles. So thanks for hopping on. I'll try and be with the fellas shortly, and thanks for hopping on. And I hope you learned something about basketball drafts and figuring out like which guys to take, which guys are good values, maybe finding values.
You have been on quite a roll with the fantasy football already, man. So yeah, like I could tell, man, you are. We gotta gotta get a league going this year. For I used to be good at fantasy, man.
I'll tell you what. In my DA team league, I think it was like 1 or 2 points from making the championship, and in the other league, I was like a few points from making the playoffs and that. And my best friend ended up winning both of those leagues, and I'm still mad.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, and I thought my roster was better, but that's just me.
Of course you did.
Yeah, that happens. And I'm like, does that mean I'm a bad fantasy player? Did I just get unlucky?
I think the worst experience I had was I won a league. We had a work league. I won the league. It was $500. And the guy quits the job and leaves with my $500. Nobody ever saw him. It was crazy, man. I was up there. They let me go, and I went up there. Hey, man, I won my $500. And he quit. He never showed back up. And so yeah, he must have lost his job, but he kept my $500 in the fantasy.
I would have put him in a guillotine. I would have said, "Where's my money?"
Man, every wrestling move you could think of. That's how mad I was. That I'm still, even now, 15 years later, I'm mad I didn't get, man. I stuck my foot in this Rudy Poo, you know what, like The Rock says, brother.
All right, Charles. Thanks for hopping on.
All right, sir. Thank y'all for y'all. Y'all have a great evening.